what makes you kind of like push through when suddenly the banks can't give you money? When like you come back to the office and say, okay, we have a problem. What advice could you give us when we need to handle uncertainty, which is becoming the big thing in Europe now?
I'm not sure I can give specific advice, no, but to be honest, I think that most entrepreneurs are optimists, right? Because if they wouldn't be optimists, they wouldn't do what they do in the first place. Because what entrepreneurs do is difficult by default, it's uncertain by default, it has risks by default. So if you wouldn't believe in it, and if you don't believe in the good outcome or in the positive outcome, you wouldn't do it in the first place. So if we take that assumption that, okay, entrepreneurs are optimists by default, then, you know, you just have to continue, kind of. I mean, very often I think you don't have the chance as well. I mean, you know, what's the other choice? To lay off everybody, of course, and go out of business. So you're just forced to continue very often, even though things are very difficult. And the biggest problem is that even if you don't believe that you can do it or you can make it, you still have to pretend that you do, because you have to show to your employees that we're going to get through this somehow. But definitely I agree with you that in Greece, I think entrepreneurs have seen a lot of hardship and a lot of obstacles the last years. And I think it has made them more agile and more creative somehow, you know, to deal with these problems. At least the ones who survived, because of course many entrepreneurs also didn't survive the crisis.
No. I'm also noticing from meeting them, I've probably met most of the Greek chapter over the years. Some of them I've met 3 or 4 times in the same year. So most of them are called Costa or George. So Philip is not a very common name, Greek chapter. And what I'm also learning is it makes them enjoy life a bit more. Like, it is what it is. Life might be tough. We'll solve it tomorrow and let's have fun. And I think it had it affected me a lot over the years when we would meet during strategy summits and meetings, and the discussion became for me that I think a positive mindset is also when you're down, like you finish work and you understand we'll get back to it tomorrow. Let's relax, let's have fun, let's have a drink. Tomorrow we'll get back to it. And I think that's some, what you might call in English, tenacity, right? They'll keep going. And that's very interesting to me. I think it is very similar with the Israeli kind of like mindset of play hard, party hard. So I think there's a lot of resemblance in that aspect between the way we do business.
I agree. I think, but also, of course, crisis, you know, it makes you value certain things more. So for me, definitely it was the case. You know, after the bankruptcy, I saw a lot of things different. Maybe more opportunistic as well. You know, more prudent also in terms of the business, let's say. But also, you know, and take more time. Funny enough, I think I was working much more before in the previous business. And now I'm also taking more time, you know, I don't know, with my family and things like that. So I think you need to have a balance, because I also saw that, you know, something I worked for 12 years, we became one of the largest OTAs and flights in Europe. We were 300 people. But then from one second to another, it was all gone, right? So you're like, okay, I don't know. I mean, maybe there are other important things as well to enjoy.